Well, welcome everybody. We are super excited for our guest today, Richard, who, has been in the industry for a while. You've owned multiple salons in Australia and the UK, and you're currently a salon coach, which we love. We love salon coaches. So welcome to Next Level Salon Leadership.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So kind of talk through your journey of where you've come to and where you're at now, because I know that you have a 9-step framework that you're going to take salon owners through that, just got some things I want to touch on, but kind of take us through your journey that brought you to where you are today.
Oh, so I'm probably, but I try and remember that most people are like me. That's what I believe. I didn't want to be a hairdresser. Who would want to be a hairdresser? I want to be an electrician. And I remember going to my mum's house one day, and she had a man there, and he was a manager. He said, "Let me give you a quick manager's interview." And I went, "Okay." And he went, "Go down the road. There's a salon with a sign in the window that says, apprentice wanted." I walked in there, and I got the job, took the job. First day in, fell in love with it. And then ever since then, all my career, right to the end, I've loved everything to do with hair. So I've been a hairdresser, apprentice, salon owner, manager. And then it got to a stage where I had multiple salons in Australia, and I got bored, and I thought I'd write a book. And as I was buying my third salon, I realized that most people didn't make any money as a salon owner. I was gobsmacked. I was thinking, it's just easy. You do really well. You fill a column, get someone else, fill a column, and that's easy. I know my first years were rocky, but apart from that, I got some expert help 5 years in. And then I thought, this is pretty easy. Why isn't everyone doing this? So I thought I'd write a book and share it with the world one day. And it was very strange. There was a lady from Mobile, Alabama, and I was coaching her at the time. I picked 10 people just to play with. I just wanted to, it wasn't a job, it just doing it. And this is how I became a coach. I was driving to work one day. I was doing a 9 to 9, cutting behind the chair. And she phoned me up, and she had 2 salons, and she went, "I've had a mass staff walkout and I'm in a mess." And I spent the next 10 hours in my head picking out how I can save her. And my first year apprentice said to me, "Hey, Richard, you can't do this. The clients are talking to you and you're just ignoring them. Your mind's elsewhere. I'm speaking to you." And we had about 7 or 8 staff in this salon at one time. I went home that night, sat there, poured a glass of wine, thought, I can't do both. And where's the fire in my belly? And the fire in my belly was to help salon owners more so than now help my clients look beautiful. I put my business online, and I don't know, next day someone from Dubai contacted me and said, "I want to buy it." And I said, "Well, if you work it," and this was Thursday, I said, "if you're flying on Saturday, you can come and work." And she flew in to Sydney, Australia. She worked behind the chair. I went, "Okay, cool." And then she bought it on the Monday. And that was it. And I thought, I'm out of a job. I didn't even know what was going on. She flew in. And I didn't realize then that my salon was so systemized, and it was just printing money and not around me. That's why she bought it. That's why I had 4 offers at the same time. So since then, I went on a mission to help salon owners, make money. It's harder than you think. I think for us as creative people, we don't like numbers. We don't like, putting the follow-up in our work. We love being creative. We love making posts. We love making our clients look great. But running a business, it's a bit hard, isn't it? So they tend to pass it on to someone else and end up in a mess. The reality is, to make the matters really simple, it's just a numbers game. X amount of people come in, pay you X amount of dollars, you're going to make X amount of money. But we mess it up. And I did it for years, messing it up, until I realized that it was just a formula and a pattern. Let's just follow it. So that's how I became a hairdresser, fell into it. How I became a coach, fell into it. It wasn't meant to be that way. I currently run 3 different programs around the world that I coach, about 300 salons right now. So quite a lot. So we have an insight in what we think's happening. We help salons get through COVID. We seem to be one step ahead of the hairdressers at the moment, but it's some tough times ahead right now. There really is.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about those 300 salons that you're coaching right now. What are you seeing as kind of the top challenges that you're coaching them through?
Yeah. So the biggest, most of my people I coach are doing over between 300,000 to about 5 mil. So that's a lot of people in there. Their biggest effort, and I sort of, I'm quite sharp. I'll tell you how it is if I need to. Staffing is the biggest issue around the world right now. And I think America, Australia, and the UK are over 50% are self-employed. Like 50% of the people that cut hair now are self-employed. That's the stats that I'm picking up, which means I think you call them booth renters over there, or rent-a-chair as we call them over here. That's the biggest reason. And I'm not angry, because I'm not an angry person. But the reality of this is we had lazy salon owners for probably 20 years that haven't trained staff that well, haven't paid them that well, haven't kept up increasing their prices to pay people that well. So we've sort of made it like this. We've made them go self-employed, I believe. Mm-hmm. Most people I know that just want to come to work, do a good job, get paid decent money, and live a life that balances well with the world they live in. Due to COVID, and we said this 2 years ago, that we've had 9 months in the UK. Australia had about 3 months. I'm not sure how much lockdown big was in the States, but people got paid for nothing, really. They realized that life is short, and they realized they don't want to work 40 hours a week behind a chair anymore. No one wants a job, and I don't blame them. I don't want a job either. So I think I did before my time. I think it was 6 years ago. I said there's a movement going on at the moment, and the salon owners that move will do well, and the ones that stay as they are don't. And we grew up in my day, it was leader follower. It was like there was a boss, and then there was everyone else. They told you what to do. They told you what system to put in place. They told you how they wanted their salon run, and you did it. Them days are gone. They'll never come back. So we believe leader is the key. It's an us and a we. Every person we introduce this into the salon as well. It's you're the custodian of your salon. You don't own it. You just pay the bills. The salon without your staff is nothing. It's just you, a one-man band. So good leaders realize that your weekly team meetings are really like a little board meeting. We're sitting how we should do marketing, how we should build the salon, how our clients should be treated as they come in. And it's a collective anymore. They want to belong. They want their say. Like we used to, the difference to make it easy was years ago, if you gave someone, say, go and do the stock control, you told them to go and count the stock. Nowadays, when you do a stock control, you say, hey, we've got $1,000. You can go in there and buy whatever you like. They've got to have a say. And I think if you don't give them the say, they realize they've just got a job. And I don't think anyone wants a job. I don't want a job. I'd be bored. If I knew I was cutting hair behind a chair, working 40 hours a week, getting a basic of, I don't know, let's just say $15 an hour, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. You know, I like being a boss. I like the fact that money was a bit iffy, the longer hours, the shorter hours. I like the flexibility. And I think most people behind the chair now want that. And the bosses are not going to give it to them. So they're going to go find it themselves. And that's why they're all going to rent a chair. But that's just my thought.
Which brings us, I want to circle back to what you talked about that kind of got you into the coaching was that whole walkout conversation. And I think to go along with staffing, and that's a big fear. We get put in a lot of, as salon owners and managers, we get in our heads about if the team leaves, what does that look like? Because staffing is a little bit more challenging now than what it has been in the past. So what advice do you have for someone that's either experiencing a walkout as we speak, experienced one, or, you know, what advice do you have for them to get over that mindset that it could happen?
Yeah, in all my years, there was 2010, I had a big staff walkout. I had 9 staff members, including myself, in my salon, and 8 left. It was left with just me. And my son was the instigator. He went, let's all go to Europe for fun. And they all went to Europe for fun and didn't realize that I need to stay in the man the business. That year was my biggest takings year and the biggest profit year I ever had. That was when I realized my systems were strong. It wasn't people, it was the systems that people came to. So bringing it to modern day, there was a thing in my brain, and that's why my salon bounced back so well, was what does it take to not make your staff member leave? So, for example, let's say right now, and I try and entice all my American salons to do this, but no one has yet because they have to grow balls and they haven't prepared to do that yet. I'm saying, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. You put an advert out and say, I'll pay you 4 weeks holiday. So 4 weeks holiday, annual leave, I'll pay you. I'll pay you private health, and I'll pay you almost double what anyone else is paying in town. You're going to fill your salon with employees. Your job is to find out how to make that happen. You know, how many bums on seats do you need to sit in your chair paying your X amount of money? And so you can make profit and they can make a good life. And if you can create that, then you can have as many people in your salon as you want. No one's going to leave. Where are they going to go to? You know, I think how scary it's going to be putting a big poster in your window to go, we're looking for hairdressers. Stick on Instagram or social media right now and go, we're going to pay $20 an hour, 4 weeks paid holiday, and we'll fly you to London to work with Tony and Guy for 2 weeks every year. Every other hairdresser in town will crap themselves and go, hope my staff don't go there to work. The reality is we went through a stage where you guys are either booth renters or you commission based, so half your money is going on wages at best, but you've still got half left, you know, so you've still got enough. It's just a numbers game. Your job is to make the numbers work for you. And I think that's the key. So if you're scared right now that your staff are going to leave, it's simple. Give them something before. Don't let them ask for a pay rise. Give them a pay rise. Work out the numbers and find out what it takes to keep them.
Yeah, it's so critical to understand your numbers. And I think that's the biggest challenge, Sean. And I notice when we're coaching salon owners, a lot of them don't know their numbers. You know, they'll just look at us and say, well, I have no idea, or they can't produce anything to us. Right. And so kind of talk to that salon owner, like, how do you get started in this? What advice do you give your salon owners when they don't understand their numbers? How can they, you know, dive into that to start to learn them? What's the best way?
Yeah, so we found the easiest way, we do this with every salon we take on, is we try and make the most difficult simple. So they don't like maths. They don't want to deal with numbers at all. They just want to cut hair all day. So we set a dream up. We say, hey, how much do you want to pay yourself? How much do you actually want to earn? And how much do you want to pay your team? So let's work that out. So how much does your salon have to take? And we sort of, let's say, I'm going to pluck a number, say it's $500,000 or $1 million. And then you can work out then from then by breaking it down, how much money you're going to pay yourself when you work out your basic of bills. So let's make it happen. Like how many bums on seats do you need? Once they realize it's just appointments walking through the door. And sometimes I go to people, let's just concentrate on bums on seats. You need 300 people a month. That's it, full stop. Don't forget everything else in business. You just get 300 bums on the seat. And I think most hairdressers that I've ever met, we're people. We love like doing life with people. We love making people like look good and feel good. So we can get 300 people in the door. It's when we start complicating it to make it really hard for them. You know, I was a massive KPI person. I spent all my time tracking my business and then went to myself, I spent more time tracking than actually looking at the numbers and seeing what they did. So we scrapped everything and we went, let's just choose 5 things. We call it the 5 dials. Let's choose just 5 things that are important to you. Nothing else. Let's strip everything bare. And we went, well, okay, one of them is going to be, how many clients do we do in a week? That's dead easy to count, isn't it? How much does we take in a week? And then what's our rebook and what's our retail? And then the last one is like, you know, dead easy. What's the average bill that comes through? 5 things. One of those 5 to you. And we just color them. Because like we have this really thing with creative people. If we hit it, we put it on the back room wall, 5 big circles. And if we hit it, we paint it green. And if it's nowhere near, we paint it red. And if you get close, we just take it to an amber. Everyone knows the traffic light system, right? So the teams suddenly get obsessed with, let's turn everything green. Well, green means we're making money and that's it. And so for me, I just think, how do we bring complicated stuff that no one wants to do and turn it into a world that we just like being creative and fun? And somewhere along the line, the balance has gone. It's important. I learned a lot. My girlfriend, who's also a salon owner, she looks at numbers on a spreadsheet and she says to me, the numbers bounce around the page. They don't even sit still for me. And I'm thinking, but you run a salon, it's successful. So how do you do that? Should we just make it up? Make it up? You can't make it up. But so she's done very successful, but it's just by chance. 3 people move into her town, she might struggle. So my job was like, okay, how do we just make it fun? Well, we like coloring in. Of course we do. Everyone likes coloring in. So we sort of, as a salon whole, we just get each team member to color it in each week. You've got 5 staff members. Every 5 weeks, they're going to color it in. Everyone's got a part of this to play. And then your team meetings are based on the 5 dials on your wall. It's not that hard. You know, let's turn that one green. It's been red for 3 weeks. Why is that? Because we haven't got enough bums on seats. Okay, well, let's do some marketing. Let's get some pictures together. Let's get some proof. Let's go get some reviews together. Let's do rebooks, whatever it is to get the bums on seats. And my job then is to give them the skills to make the numbers work. But apart from that, as a coach, I guess, is trying to keep them motivated because it's lonely on the top, as we always know. But like they say, crap runs downhill. So if your staff are rubbish, there's a good chance it's come from you. I had a conversation today. When someone don't get it, there's a guy that messaged me today and he went, I've got this first year apprentice. She's rubbish. She can't even hold a comb. And I said, well, who's training her? And he went, me. And I went, what? I said, think about it. You're training when she can't hold a comb. Like it's simple as that. It's just simple, isn't it? It's either attitude or skill. You decide what it is. If she's got attitude, then get rid of her. If it's skill, lift your own game up. So anyway, we created an academy. I'm going off on one. I'm sorry. We created an academy last year. I don't think it's ever been done ever in the world. So we created this purposely for my team. Like I say, I'll try and think ahead. We know staffing is going to be an issue, so we decided to fix it. So we built this online academy. It's like your own website backend where we get you to the modern way. No one wants to sit and read, like to cut hair anymore on a piece of paper. That's not going to work. In my day, we had pictures of Tony and Guy, pictures of partings. Them days are gone, right? No one learns like that anymore. So the reality is salon owners don't have time to teach people. And I believe getting someone on the floor is just like driving a car. If you have 100 hours behind a car, you can drive. If you have 5 hours behind a car, you're a bit iffy. So the simple, let's get people on the floor faster by training them faster. But you don't want to give your time up because you're making money. So as you're going through teaching one person, we film it all. Well, you film it yourself on your mobile phone, you upload that into a website that we created for you on your site, and you turn around and you go to someone and go, like, here's the app. This is how we make coffee. This is how we answer the phone. This is how we put parts in the hair. This is how we wash hair. And they learn when they've got 5 minutes and I think Gen Y and Z, they like learning. I think the youth love it. The problem is they're bored because you've got them sitting there while they're waiting 3 hours for you to get free. So we created that last year and like my girlfriend was the first person to use it. She just took 2 people on that are now on the floor and she hasn't trained them in anything. How bad's that? They literally just learn by their phone. And then, so when she goes and watches them, they just pass. So we work on dolly heads, of course. And then once they get to a stage where it's ready for a human, they come a human in, my girlfriend watches them, and then they just create it. So and then like, okay, you can pass that now. So they've still got to pass college, of course, you still got to get your qualification, but the actual skill in the salon. So we just thought there's going to be a mass shortage. So why don't we train faster? Because then we want to be ahead of everyone else. Because if everyone else in town's taking 3 years to get someone to earn 3 times their wage, which is what I think over here, we just do it in a year. Now we're going to be 2 years ahead of you. It's just speed. So that's what we do. Yeah.
I love that. And I love how simplified you've broken things down. So I'd love to hear more about your 9-step framework, because I love that it's a system that's designed to get you a 30% increase in your salon in 12 months. That's a statement right there.
Well, I'm gonna break it down, and you'll suddenly realize it's not a statement at all. It's really quite easy if you could keep someone focused. So we have 9 steps. So there's 3 steps, 3 steps, and 3 steps. So imagine there's 3 that goes into 1, 3 into the middle, 3 into the end. We believed to get a 30% increase in any business is worth the effort. If it's anything less than that, no one's going to be bothered. Like it's like doing it. If you did a discount and said it's going to be £5 off, I'm not getting out of bed for £5 off. I'm not. If I'm going to go and spend my money on a nice new car, I want free leather or $5,000 off, not $100 is going to do nothing to me. So we decided that a 30% increase is doable, really doable. And it's quite simple. We decided that, let's say your salon's doing 100 clients a week. Let's just get you a 10% new clients. Can I get you 10 new clients a week in a year? I think I could. It's not that hard. You're doing 100. You can't tell me you can't do 110. Of course you can. Just keep a few more. We'll work on it. Get the marketing right. Easy. So then we worked out one of the biggest mistakes most salon owners do, and I learned it in 2008, was most clients, especially from about 5 years ago, are dragging out their appointments. That's all they're doing. They're having balayages done. They used to come every 8 weeks in my day, or in my day, it was off the collar, it was 5 weeks. And if it was on the collar, it was 6 weeks. It was past that, it was 7 weeks. It was 5, 6, 7, and that's all we did. Nowadays, it's 18 weeks between appointments. Like, your hair's still growing, so we decided that if we can get people back just by 1 week sooner, just 1 week, you'd have a 10% increase in your business. Simple. Every client come back one week early. Well, I know for a fact, if you've got a balayage person, your average return rate is 16 weeks, I could get it to 17. With a bit of effort, with some rebooks, even have to offer a bit of discount, come that 1 week soon. Well, now we're on a 20% increase, and we haven't even worked that hard yet. So let's just go to the last one, which was the last 10%, was like, if you have an average bill of, let's say, $80, could you get it to 88 in a year? Well, you can put it up by 3% if you want to. Then you've only got to work on upselling by 7%. So we work on the 3 key elements of the business over the year, and we think we can do small bites like that. Most salon owners believe, if I said to you, it's $80 your average bill, if you worked on this with a coach, do you think we can get to 88? And they'll go, yes. Well, of course you could. It's not that hard. 8% of average bill increase isn't a lot of money in today's world. By the time you had a pay rise, or you can introduce some treatments or some retail, we can do that. So that's how we get 30% in a year. We keep it really simple. My job is to keep them focused on each element. So every month we just change. We go, this month we're getting more clients in the door. Next month we're going to work on your weeks in between. Next month we're going to work on your average bill with the client journey, etc. And I think you're nodding. You're now saying, does it now feel like a hard statement to get 30% in a year?
That's amazing. I love it. So it's basically increasing your clients, frequency of visit, and average ticket. Like those are your key elements that you're focused on, which is so powerful. And so kind of let's talk about that frequency of visit, because I think that's kind of an area. And I remember Robert Cromie's one of our coaches that has talked to us about this for years, right? And he said the key is frequency of visit. The key is, and then all of a sudden balayage started happening. This is many years ago. So talk about that. Like, how can we get them in sooner and quicker? What does that look like as far as coming in more, as far as more services that they might need, so to speak?
Yep. So I personally believe since 2008, when that big recession hit, my average return rate was about 10.2. That's what it was, 10.2. And I started dragging out to 11.2. And I worked out the fact that would cost me $165,000 if it moved a week. Huge amount of money. Because every client I did quite a few clients in that salon. So my aim was, okay, let's try and pull people back. So I believe there's 2 pots of people. There's the clients that love you, come when you say, you've got full control, they're dieharders, you know who they are. We don't talk to them, they're fine, they're going to look after us no matter what, they're our bread and butter. But then you've got a bunch of people that love you, but maybe can't afford you. They've had children, the kids are at uni, whatever it may be, they've changed, something's happened in their life. So they're either going to have to go to another salon who's cheaper, or they're going to drag it out. That's where they're at. So I'm thinking, okay, we know there's about 20% of the people that are dragging it out in my world. So we used to come up with a discount formula that we used to give them either a value add. So when I say discount, it could be a bundle. It could be color cut treatment for a maximum price, whatever it is, still discount in one sense or form. So we used to send people, once they hit a certain amount, we built a system that once they hit 12 weeks, they got introduced by me. It was like, hey, let's do this. And it could be money off. It could be you're just overdue, or it could be anything that we decide to do. And then we just nudge them to get a percentage in. So we used to do it in my salon. It was 8 weeks, 10 weeks, and 12 weeks. That was my thing, 8, 10, and 12. Then 14, 16, 24, 40. And then at 52, I sent everyone a letter and email to go. I used to call it the retreat amnesty. It was like, hey, if you've not been back in a year, we've really done something wrong. Whatever you want, it's on the house. Just book in, color cut, you name it, it's on me. And we had a lot of people come back, but they paid. We just thought a year, something's gone wrong. And we just found that people well, here's an example. You must have a restaurant that you guys love, a restaurant you've been to, you've loved it, you had a great experience, and you just haven't gone back because you forgot. Yeah. No other reason. They did great, but you just didn't get around to it again. Well, I think people are like that. So that's how we get clients in. With balayage, we built this thing about 3.5 years ago that we tried to educate clients. It's okay that balayage lasts longer, but your hair still gets dry and needs a haircut. So we built a maintenance package for all our clients. If it's 18 weeks for your balayage, you're going to come back for a maintenance package, which will be a cut and a toner and a blow dry in week 9. So we introduced that no matter what. It just made a difference, because if you get half them back, and we used to do it for, let's say in our world, it was like, I'm trying to convert it to dollars. Let's say it'd be $500 to have your balayage, your full work, with all your plexes and everything you get done. Then on that day, if you rebooked for your maintenance in 9 weeks, it was only $99. But they had to rebook it in the salon before they left. And we've introduced that into a lot of salons. And then we halved it. We had 18 weeks to 9. But I'm only working on 1 week. So we believe getting people to return faster is one way that salon owners, we all have computer systems now, it's so easy, but they just don't do it. Like, they just use that as an expensive till. But really, there's money in their minds. Go and mind them, you know? There's all good stuff in there.
So good.
You mentioned that people come to systems, and that's why you were successful when you had your walkout, because it was easy for you because of that. What do you feel are 3 or 4 key systems that are missing currently?
Yeah. So this is coming from a man that was burnt, like everyone else who's had a salon before now, with a superstar walking out and taking half the staff with them and taking half the clients with them, and it hurts you. So I don't like superstars. Everyone says to me, surely want the superstar. Well, let me describe a superstar stylist to you. They're usually fully booked. They have a waiting list. They sell high retail. They've got a massive average bill, and they're money hungry. What we're describing is us, the owner.
Mm-hmm.
That's who we're describing. So I don't like them. I don't want them. If someone came to me and they said to me, I've got a full clientele, I'm fully booked, I'm really busy, I've got a wait long, I'll go, yeah, okay, you're not for me. I like Eddie Steadies. I like people that do 3 times what I pay them, regardless. They come to work, they love work. They love just the fact is that they hit commission in my business. So they get lots of bonuses. So I have this thing. I don't care who you are when you work for me. You've got to take 3 times what I pay you. You guys are a bit different because you do 50% commission. In our world, we pay by the hour, and then you've got to earn 3 times. So then you get commission after that. But for me, I like people where if I'm in control, so I'm doing the marketing, I build the system. So it means that when someone comes in, the consultation is done exactly the same by everyone. You know, I read the E-Myth Revisited many, many years ago. So I E-Mythed my salon if that was the case. Mm-hmm. I like each stylist. They're going to be creative. They're going to cut the same. They foil the same. You know, our half head of foils and cut and blow dry was 1 hour, 45 minutes from start to finish. You could time us on it. 82 foils, front and back. That was it. We systemized it so much that anyone in the salon could do any of the work. My first year apprentice dealt with all the client complaints. It was all systemized. I think we realized that we wanted the salon to be the destination, not the person. So if everyone was the same, like McDonald's, you know the food's going to be rubbish, but you still go because you just want food fast, right? It's just the way it is. But the reality is, if you went to a McDonald's and they did a good burger, a bad burger, a good burger, and a bad burger, you wouldn't go because you don't know what you're getting. People just like to know that when they go to somewhere, if it's going to be crap, let's continually be rubbish. If it's going to be great, let's continue to be great. So I decided to be good. So everything was timed. Every person that worked for me, I don't care who you were, you learned it our way. And clients loved the fact that when they came in and whoever did them, the treatment was exactly, each wash was a 3-minute wash. So we did it was a 3-minute wash, 3-minute condition, 3-minute treatment without fail. Yeah. And I was there saying to my juniors, I'm going to scream at you. I'm going to stare at you. You're going to look at my face and think I fell out with you because I'm going to go speed up because we're behind the clock. But while we're calm, just ignore me. And many times I've stuck my head around that door, like give them the look, like you get to move on. And they just go, no, nothing's going to change. So even I tried to break my own systems because we would, because we have things go wrong every day. So to break it all down, everything we did, from how we opened the door to how we made coffee, to how we gave the tea, to how we washed hair, to how we cut hair, to how we blow dried, everything was the same, except for as a hairdresser, we have that, we used to wash the hair, cut the hair, dry the hair, and then smash the hair apart like most people did. Did your little personalization. I can't, and that's where you got to be creative, right? You got to do your own bit. But everything was timed, like everything was just done to perfection. And for us, it meant that even now when we sold it, you could go in there and it would almost feel like me still, but I didn't build that. If you get your team to build your systems, they won't break it. If you build it and give it to someone, then they're going to break it and find a quicker way. So we built it together. That's how we teach now. We teach you to get your team together. We build stuff. That's what we're here to do. We're building the client journey because it's all about us. So there's nothing individual that made it different. We just didn't want superstars. They're usually independent. They're not team players. I like team players. Like you sit in a room together with a first-year apprentice who will tell me, the boss, me, what to do. Me. But it's the reality is we're all the same. I just have different roles to play. My job is to make their life like good and exciting and fun. It's a strange thing. There's one of the things my girlfriend taught me. I got it on here. I just gave it to someone today. Was we did a random questionnaire, like, if I give you $20, what would you do with it? right now. And you get the staff members to answer it. Like, what's your favorite restaurant? And you memorize all these things. And then throughout the year, you make it good for them. When they've had a really big week, you throw them $20, say, there you go, put some petrol in the car. That's what they'll do with it. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cough and a cold. So I realized quickly that I just like people. I like being around a team and the team all working to the same goal. So my team knew exactly how much money I was going to take from day one. So the start of every year, we booked the whole day out. We sat there, we talked about what's our goal this year? What are we going to make this year? What do you need to make as an individual? And what's the rewards if it happens? And that could be, and then we're all working towards that every week.
Yeah.
And that's how I put my success down for the fact is that my team felt like they owned part of my salon, even though they didn't. When I sold my salons, I got the money, but and I paid myself well. Like I'm not ashamed. I'm happily with my team to say to them, we're going to earn lots of money this year, and I'm going to pay myself a lot. But I'm putting my life on the risk, But you'll get what you want. So I was very cocky early on because I knew my skills was good enough. So when I advertised 25 years ago, it was we're after the best hairdresser on the coast. You don't have to be trained. I'll train you to be the best there is, and I'll pay you a minimum of $1,000 a week. Straight off the bat for an apprentice. I got swamped. Yeah. And then it was my job to make it happen, of course. But I did my numbers previous to that. I knew we could make it. So when I put an advert out for staff, I got hundreds. I must be the only one. I interview every 5 minutes. I had hundreds of people, and my job's to find the diamond in the rough. Who's my next team member? And we used to set it out because my team was helping picking the next team member. We were a family, really. So we try and teach that to people to realize that, once you realize you're just a custodian of your salon, because that's all you are, then it becomes part of a team. We are all in this together, every single one of us. My job is to crunch the numbers and pay you well. Your job is to look after the clients and make sure they come back. It's pretty simple, I think.
Let's talk about that, because I think that's, I love that you gave that 50% number in the beginning of this whole call today, because you basically said about 50% of stylists are leaving and they're going into their own suites. And so talk to that salon owner, because Sean and I, we only, like you, we pretty much only coach people that own employees, right? Employee owned salons. So we call it W2, employee owned salons versus independent contractors. And so once in a while we'll run into someone that has independent contractors and they're trying to treat them like employees, right? Which is a tough situation, because it's like, wait a minute, they're independent contractors. Why are you expecting them to act like a team when you brought in a bunch of independent, let's use the word, they're independent of you and your rule and your reign. And so let's talk about that. And what is the better business model? What is the better business strategy? And do you talk to salon owners about this? Because many of them probably are saying, should I go hybrid? Should I go hybrid? What's your thoughts on that? And how do you coach salon owners with that?
Cool, that's great. I don't coach booth renters or renter chairs because my systems are all based on teams. So you have no teams. So I explain it. I mean, I did a webinar last night, and I do the three. This is a salon that has 5 employees and they're all self-employed. Here's a salon that has 5 employees and they're all commissioned. Here's a salon that's all 5 employees, but they're all getting paid. And you can see the difference, the risk factor you get. The thing for me is that I never understood, and I don't think they understood that. They sort of feel like, you say hybrid. Over here is a massive shift into rent-a-chair. It's huge. Yeah. And I'm going, have you seen the state of Canada and America of all the booth renters? Have you seen that no one's getting trained anymore because no one has staff? If you imagine you're a bunch of people. Yeah. The law over here was very slow for a while. So you could have 10 people in here that look like they're all working as a team, but you didn't realize they were all, self-employed. So that law's been broken now. Some accountants say it's best to do it this way because you can stay below a certain tax bracket that we have in England. But for me, it's like the Wild West. You've either got gun for hire, because they're all mercenaries. That's the way I look at it. They're mercenaries, or it's an army fighting for their country. So you're either going to just mercenary people out. If you've got 5 people, independent, looking after themselves, they usually choose it salon owners, and it is lazy salon owners go, but I don't want the risk. What if I can't afford to pay their wage? So I'm going to go for rent, the easy option. And then they think that they're going to be a family together, working together as a unit. But what happens is they can just down tools and walk out. I'm now getting paid for what I do, not for being in the salon. You're breeding greed, because you are breeding people to go, if you get all the clients, you get all the money. If you've not got any clients, you don't make any money. I'm not money orientated. That doesn't work for me. I love teams. And I think if you do something that you love with people you love, everyone makes money. And it's about everyone having a piece of the pie. Okay, I'm going to get the big slice because I'm taking the risks. But the reality is, as long as I make your dreams come true and you have a good life balance, then we're good. I over here in Australia, most people, I think there's going to be a swing, by the way, and there's me put my hand way out of there. I think because of COVID, people don't want to be, I think they're forced into rent a chair. I think that if we could pay them more money, like I said before, you pay someone 4 weeks holiday, you pay them to have health in America, you pay them good money. Why would they go booth renting? I think they choose it. We have this thing where hairdressers, and not being sexist, but the majority are female. So they are going to have babies, and they are going to try and have a balance. Hopefully, if they're good enough, they're going to have a balance around their lifestyle and not work 5 days a week once the baby's born. That's what I'm guessing they want. Right. So if they go booth renting, they can work it out. And some hairdressing owners can't cope with the fact is, you don't want to work a Saturday? Well, if you're that good, and I got told many years ago, if you're the busiest and best stylist, give them Saturday off, because they can fill you Tuesday. Don't them. So they haven't learned that yet. But for me, I don't take on booth renters, renter chairs, because I don't know what to do with them. My systems, I don't know what to do with you guys. Exactly. Just chuck a sign out and go, whoever's the hungriest. I just picture a pack of dogs fighting over a piece of meat. That's what I picture, right? You can't have unity. And the things that we decided to do many, many years on was everything we decided to do was for the love of the client and the love of the staff. And if we got all that right, everything would work. So when you came to have sick pay, or if you come to have holidays, or you want to take days off, we go, hey, is it good for the client? Is it good for the salon? Is it good for you? And is it good for me? That's it. And with self-employed renter chairs, I don't know where we go with that. It's just like it's just me. It's all about me, and I think I can't deal with you. So no, I don't have any tips for self-employed people, because I don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, perfectly said.
Well,
so
it's
let everybody know where they can find you, where they can find your workshops, where they can get in touch with you. And then your final piece of advice.
Yeah, cool. So I'm the Lifestyle Salon Coach. So you can find me on Instagram. I've got my bio up there. I'll give you some extra seminars if you want to figure out how to work out your business. You can just Google Lifestyle Salon Coach and I'll pop on any social media and you should find me. The final word, I guess, is the one thing that I found really difficult to get across to people, like we explained to you when it was like, wow, a 30% increase in 12 months. We've had people this year that have done 300,000 more this year than last. And that's like a huge amount. We cracked 1 million with them. We've got people that easily do 150 a year increase in their business with no more staff, because it is easier than you think. But it took me years. We just don't stay focused. We're hairdressers. We want the next shiny thing. I remember buying shed loads of salt perms thinking they were going to be the next thing. Salt perms. I think I did one and went, no, that's not going to work, is it? That's why we used to go to all these shows to buy all this new stuff thinking this is going to make us all the money. And the reality is the money's in the basics. It's like business should be quite boring. You should, reality is you should keep your numbers. And if you really want to make money in this game, it just is how many bums you can get through your door, how many bums you can get. Actually, you call bums tramps. I'm so sorry. As we call them bums, right? We call them, bums on seats like a person. So we don't want to go bum. Don't get bums in your salon.
Not homeless people.
Okay, yeah, not homeless people. It's just as simple as like, how much do you charge? What's the average bill? And how many appointments can you get in a week? And that means current and new clients. And I think if you stayed with that focus, you would do well. And it's as simple as that. But the reality is we all have the best intentions. Many times I've said, right, today I'm going to master my marketing. And then 3 staff members turn up sick. And I'm working the floor doing 1 million clients and putting fires out all day. So if you can work putting a fire out tomorrow before it becomes your fire, then it gets easy. Oh, and hire a coach is always a good one. Hey.
Yes.
And the reason, and by the way,
Always.
the reason you should hire a coach, it took me years to figure out why to hire a coach. I think I'm a pretty smart cookie with a hair salon right now. And I can get any salon and give them a plan of action, and we can sort of find out any hole in their business, because numbers and me are really, really good. Rubbish at English. I'm dyslexic. I'm terrible at that. But maths, I can see, if you sent me your P&L, I would know who's doing well or who's not doing well. You could send me your figures from your business and I would know which staff members are over it. The numbers just tell me a story. But I forgot where I was going with this. But the reality is, with the salon owner, is we just get diverted too much into different things.
Yeah.
And an outside person looking in, we just see everything. Like, you just do. We've got no emotional in there at all. And I think that difference is, so me as a coach, I need the coach to say to me, you're going off track. What are you doing this for? But I know I'm going off track. Yeah. I just need to be sort of, I need that combo. I can sit and have a conversation with the coach, and I've done all the talking and I've coached myself. It's ridiculous. So people need a coach, a salon owner, because we are very much get pulled off track too easily. And we do. I mean, that's why most people who own a salon, to be truthful, don't make money. That's the 50% of the people that I've done stats on will just get paid a job. 50%, that's a lot of that. And you all start with this dream of what you're going to get, and you lose the dream halfway through, because it becomes a bloody battle. I call it a war zone, where every day is a battle. Groundhog Day. You're not growing anywhere. Yeah. You got to do something different. And a coach is just going to kick you up the ass and go, get a move on. Stop chasing that purple highlight. Stop chasing that purple highlights. It's not coming in fashion. Yep. But yeah, anyway, I'm not sure if that was my final word, my final sentence. So sorry.
Incredible. You're absolutely amazing, and definitely follow him. It's lifestylesaloncoach.com. So thank you, Richard. You're awesome. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much
Today.
Oh, thanks for having me. I love talking hair, as you all know. I can do this for hours and hours and hours, because if one person hears this message and it becomes different, it's fantastic. And if anyone wants, if any of you guys do a shout out, I've got a book on Amazon, and if they want it for free, I'll just send them a PDF. They can just read the book if they want. I don't care. But yeah, one person gets the message, one person makes some money. Yeah, that's what matters.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye, Richard.
No problem.
Have a great day.
Bye now.